could start. Awesome. Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. I am Karen Newton. I am your second vice president with the National Federation of Republican Women. I absolutely love my job. And I am also the advisor for membership. And membership is absolutely one of my favorite committees to work on. And the crew that you see, Lori, Ingrid is our chair, and Robbie Hull from Texas is our co-chair. Lori is the director of membership for the National Federation of Republican Women. And we also have a committee, and we are working very hard for you. And we hope you enjoy this training session. There is a chat room at the bottom. And if you have questions, we are asking you to write your questions in the chat box so we can answer them later, and also so we can share them more easily for people that weren't able to make this call. We had a call, I don't know how many of you were on the first training session that we had a couple of weeks ago, but it was wildly successful, so enjoyable. And one of the things as your second vice president and regional director for Region 2, I really want to stress and get across is we're here for you. And I'm going to put my phone number in the chat, and you also have access to it in other places, but I'm here for you to call when you have a problem, right? Like, I'm never too busy for our members. Texting is the easiest way to get me, but I will always return your call, your text, and your emails, because no one is more important than our members. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ingrid Lake, who is the most incredible membership chair. Take it away, Ingrid.
Thank you, Karen. You're very kind. We do have a great team. Membership is important to all of us. So want to thank you guys. Thank everyone for being here. Our last training that we did at the beginning of February was very well received. And what that told us was that club presidents were really wanting more of these types of trainings. So thank you for taking the time to be with us tonight. And if you know of other club presidents or other people in your club that you'd like to share this with, just it will be recorded. It'll be sent out in a link will be sent out in the CapCon next week. So look for that. But this is really exciting for us that has been so well received. So thank you all for wanting us to come back and do this again. So, and then today, what we decided to focus on was the convention. Convention, as you know, it happens 2 times a year, and we do have a very exciting little promo video. So I'd like to start with that and hopefully get everybody excited about convention and what they can expect. So let me, hold on a second. Love technology. Now I can't see the thing to play. There we go. All right. Hopefully you were all able to see and hear that. So as you were able to see, Lori, do you have that screen from your slide that kind of shows that logo? Because it's
Yes,
such a
I
cute logo
do.
to share with
I
us.
can share it.
So as you saw in that video, convention this year will be in Orlando, Florida. The dates are September 28th, sorry, 25th through the 28th. And if you see on this logo, you see, the Gulf of America there. We updated all of our stuff to be accurate. But we're very excited to return to Orlando. It's going to be a lot of fun. And my role today is just to kind of share with you why you all should really consider going to convention. First of all, let's start with who can go to convention? The answer is anybody that is an NFRW member, whether you're a club president or you're on the board of your local club or your state federation or national, you are all invited to attend. Um, the number of delegates that each state will get depends on your membership numbers. Lori will talk about that a little bit. So you can attend either as a delegate or as a guest. Either way, it's worth attending. If you've never been um, to a convention, you really should start planning now to attend because it's really fun. You get and so why go? First of all, there's lots of training that happens at these conventions. There's lots of workshops. Probably that's why it's good to go with a group of people because there's several that you're going to want to attend. And it's good if you have a group of people and you kind of divide and conquer. That's what I have found to be the most beneficial because there's usually at least two or three that I myself want to attend. But I think you can only do it's limited because I think they only have a couple of sessions. So training is really important. The networking that you will find at these events is really unlike any other. You will meet ladies from your own state that you don't get to see very often, maybe, but also from all over the country. And you will start to form friendships. The more you go to NFRW events, the more you'll see these people and reconnect with them each time. But it's really fun to get to know people from different states that are either like yours or very different than yours because like I'm from California. So for me, it's it makes me feel good to go and talk to people from other blue states and know that I'm not alone and my problems are not just in my state. But if you're from a very red state, it's also very nice to go and talk with other people from states that are similar than yours. And whether you're looking for, ideas or you're ready to give your ideas. I mean, there's a lot of back and forth that happens. So the networking is amazing, and really a really great reason to go. Another reason, speakers, the amazing speakers that NFRW is able to get at the national level is very unique. The last time we were in Orlando, Governor DeSantis did stop by. Byron Donalds was one of the speakers for one of the workshops. I mean, we had a very small session that he was a panelist on. So I got to hear him. This was 4 years ago. So you never know who's going to be there, but all of the speakers are really, really top notch and worth your time for sure. Another reason is you will get to vote for the next NFRW executive committee for the president and all the vice presidents. That's really important. Just like it's important in your local clubs and in your state federations to vote your executive committee in, to have a voice in that is really important. And then you get to go and represent your club and your state, whether that's if you're a club president and your club gets an award, an achievement award, you will get to go as club president and collect that pin and take a picture with the president and represent your club and your state. So, it's recognition that your club has worked hard to earn. So it's just part of going to convention. And then just lastly, you get to be a part of shaping, the future of NFRW, right? Because decisions are made at convention. Convention only happens every 2 years. So it's a very big deal. And that's when we vote on any bylaw amendment proposals or anything like that. So the business of the federation happens every 2 years, and it's important to be a part of it. So those are just some of the reasons. I think there's probably more, but those are just kind of my favorites. My top favorite is really getting to go and hang out with all of these amazing women throughout the state. And also because California is so big, I get to see people that I don't see all the time, and we meet wherever convention is. So um, we want everybody. It's only March. This is in September. It's several months away, but you should really consider like planning for it. You have the dates, September 25th through 28th. Put it on your calendar. Make every effort to go or encourage your club members to attend. So, if you have any questions about details about it, they're not. We haven't received all the details in terms of cost. Somebody asked, what is the cost? Do you know, and what hotel is it at? We do know the hotel. It is at the Rosen Shingle Creek. I believe that's what it is. I believe that's what it's called, the Rose and Shingle Creek Resort in Orlando. And the cost hasn't all been set out yet. I know there will be early bird pricing. So please make sure that you are looking at your CapCon for information, because as soon as the window is, it's a limited window, and then the price goes up. Yes, Karen. Oh, she has,
She
you have to.
muted herself.
I know because I talk too much. They're like, we're shutting her up. So for the first 3 weeks that registration's open, and I forget the dates that we do the call, registration is going to be $300. We made a commitment to our membership um, in Oklahoma City that we were going to give money back to our members. So we earned money through our investments this year. So we are able to drop it from $495 to $300, which is super
Wow,
scary. I have to
that's
tell you that
incredible.
because conventions so expensive. They get you on the AV, the food. I mean, it's unbelievably expensive. But we made a promise and we're keeping that promise. So the first 3 weeks registration's open, $300. And then after that, it is a hard deadline. And I think it goes up to $495. Whatever it was last time, $475, or I can't remember, but it was
It's
well,
over
it
$400.
was
Yeah.
over $450.
Yeah.
So if you once you see it, and we will tell y'all, we'll put out, it's going to be everywhere, like register, register, register. So, and it's so much fun, y'all. I mean, if you've never been, you make lifelong friendships from going to convention. And this place looks really good. Bring your
Yeah,
husband.
it looks very nice. And somebody asked, does that include the hotel? That's just for
Yeah.
registration for the actual convention. The hotel rooms are separate. So
Right. But that includes like you get a lot of stuff for that.
yes, you do.
Mostly you get AV, right?
Yeah.
Because like $1 million for AV.
Absolutely. And then somebody asked, is that per person or per club? That's per person. That's per person. There's no like club rate. It's all per person. And another question I saw real quick, what is CapCon? The Capital Connection is the weekly email that we receive from NFRW. And every week there is something from membership. So that's where you should be. Well, that's where you should be looking first. That's not true. They should probably read President's message first. But make sure you look for membership, because we always have information about current, contests or convention information will also be in there. So, and if you're not getting that weekly email, Lori, who should they contact?
Contact member support at nfrw.org. First, look in your junk folders or junk email. Sometimes it automatically goes there. If you find it there, make sure you mark it as a safe sender, and that way it doesn't do that. But if you're not getting it, and you are current for your 2025 dues, then you need to send an email to member support at nfrw.org. There you go. Ingrid put it in the chat for us.
Yes, absolutely. That's very important. Very important that you're getting those. If you're not, that right there is worth, drawing your attention to during this training, because that's where all the information is, as well as on the website.
And tracking that is going to make you a much more successful club president, because lots of good information in there for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I think I covered all the reasons why it is very fun. That's really, it's the fun part of all the work that you've been doing during your term as club president. Just look at it that way. It's a way to celebrate, whether it's the end of your term or you're still, going to continue to be club president after that. It's a really great time to just stop, take it all in, get motivated, focused, and then take that back to your club and then get more of them to come next time. That's what it should be. So with that, I've talked about the why. I'm going to hand it over to Lori and talk about some of the details that you will need to know as club presidents before we get to convention. So Lori.
Yeah, so prep. I'm going to share my screen here real quick. All right, can everybody see that? Oh, wait, here, I gotta click share. Are we good? So, I saw right away there were a lot of questions about voting and delegates and all of that. So that's what I wanted to share with you, what all that means. So credentials is basically a delegate or the voters who represent the club. And then alternates are voters that get to vote if the delegate can't do it. So to qualify, these they have to be members of your club and they must be in good standing and they have to be registered for the convention. Okay. Every club gets one delegate and one alternate. Now I put that every club in good standing because there are some clubs that may not be in good standing that try and do a delegate, but they can't, they have to be in good standing. Also, so every club automatically gets one delegate and one alternate. State federations, they get a minimum of 5 at-large delegates and 5 at-large alternates, and then more depending on how many members they have in their state. So this is part of that whole 70K club, getting more members in. It helps your state, your whole state, have a larger voice when you get to convention. So it gets a little complicated, but I just wanted to point that out, that if your club already has a delegate and an alternate identified, you can contact your state president and ask her if you can be voted on to be an at-large delegate and alternate. So there's other ways that you can vote more than if you're not a club delegate. There are credential deadlines. This Thursday is the first one. It's all new clubs. That's clubs that are starting in 2025. They have to be in good standing by 5 p.m. on March 27th. And so if you haven't got if you've got a club that is wanting to start this year, and they don't make that deadline, they can still come. They just can't vote. Okay. It's wonderful fun and all the good stuff is there, even if you can't come. So the next one is June 28th. This is for all continuing clubs, and they must be in good standing for 2024 and 2025. So our bylaws state that to be in good standing, you have to have a minimum of 10 paid members and pay your annual club dues. And that has to be for 2024 and 2025 to be in good standing for the convention. The next deadline then will be the club delegate and alternate certification by state presidents. So once we get all of the clubs in good standing and the membership count on June 28th, then we send out information to the state presidents and they go in and they identify who the club delegates and alternates are. Okay, and we're going to talk about that in a second. If you have any questions, I recommend you go to this website at the bottom, nfrw.org/deadlines. All of the convention deadlines are on there. All of the award deadlines are on there. All the other deadlines are on there. So this is a very key webpage that you're going to want to be earmarking so you can go and keep up with that as it gets updated too. So to get there, we have a to-do list for you. First of all, you need to make sure your club is in good standing by the deadline, which is June 28th if you're a continuing club. You also need to ensure your club continues to recruit new members and submit the collected dues immediately so that your state can have more delegates, a bigger voice. And then before July, your club needs to hold an election for your club delegate and alternate. Now, it can be any member in the club unless your club bylaws state otherwise. So some clubs may say that only the club president can be the delegate and then you vote for an alternate. That's pretty rare. So as far as NFRW is concerned, any member, but you got to look at your club bylaws to see if there's anything else specific in there. Then the other thing, again, I mentioned that members have to have paid registration before they can be certified in August. So make sure that the person that you're electing to be the club delegate is planning on going and will pay her for her registration before the certification in August. And then you need to contact your state president for the state deadlines for you to report your club delegates and alternates and how they want you to report that. And then the next thing we want you to do is stay connected. Read your Capital Connection newsletter every week because there's great information in there, like we've talked about. As the convention information starts coming out, you're going to be the first to know if you get your Capital Connection. And then read your emails from your state president and NFRW. We will be sending out reminders and information about this. Your state president will be sending emails about how to report to her, the delegates, and all of that. So read those emails. We can send them to you, but we can't make you read them. And the best way you're going to be successful is if you go ahead and read them. And then check nfrw.org for more details. I mentioned the deadlines page. The other one that's real important, all of these deadlines and the information about delegates and alternates and state at large, that's all in our bylaws. And you can go to the bylaws page that's listed there. And then, of course, we want you to go to the membership committee page because there's loads and loads of great information out there that will help you be successful in all of this good stuff. So that's the credentials. I went through it real fast. If you guys have questions, please put in the chat. Let's see. Diana Hammond says her background is in fundraising. That's awesome. There's a fundraising committee. If you go to the website and you click on, you go to the fundraising committee directory, I recommend you reach out to the fundraising committee and talk to them. Oh, and Karen says email her. Is everything at for the convention at the hotel? Yes, it's all at the hotel. If your club can send 2 people, you want them to be the delegate and the alternate. And yes, so that would be 2 people would need to be registered to go. But if only 1 can go, then send the 1. Let's see. Yes, there are state level delegates and then there's club level delegates. So Karen answered that. We have someone join after March 31st. Can they still be eligible to attend? If you're talking about a member joining your club, if your club is in good standing and they join, they can attend. And actually the convention itself is open to the public. Anybody can attend. We will be sending out when the hotel rooms come available. We'll have blocked hotel rooms when they come available. We will be sending that out in the Capital Connection. So again, stay tuned for that. I'm thinking that information will come out May or June. It's not for a little bit. So that's why we kind of want to jump on this early so you can start planning and figuring out your budget and everything. So, and then a question is, can a club participate if there's no state federation? Absolutely. Everybody is invited to attend. If you are a club that does not have a state federation, so like there's several new clubs that have started and we're working on getting the state federation started for that. You do not have a vote, but you can certainly come and participate in all the good stuff. I think that's it for my questions. So I'm going to turn it over to Robbie Hall. Let me get you unmuted there. There you go.
Okay, thank you, Julie, and thank you all for being here tonight. I'm Robbie Hall. I'm the vice chair of the membership committee. And you probably get the idea that almost everything you want to know is on the NFRW website, and that's because it is. So a lot of what I'm going to talk about is on the website, and Lori's going to share the page. But if you log into nfrw.org, you would click on members and then click on leader resources. And when you click on leader resources, you scroll down to club treasurers, click on that, and then scroll down to resources and click on frequently asked questions. And the frequently asked questions is going to provide you a tremendous amount of information about this organization and your membership. So one of the first things I want to talk about is what is the membership year? Because there gets to be a lot of confusion about what the membership year is. And NFRW's membership is a calendar year membership. It's from January 1st to December 31st of each year. And that means no matter what time of the year you join, the membership's going to end on December 31st. NFRW's bylaws does not provide for pro rata membership dues. So whatever time of the year you join, you pay the full dues. And then for NFRW, what your club does or your state does is up to your club and your states, but NFRW collects the full $20, and that ends on December 31st. Now, because we know that our membership year ends on December 31st, by that point in time, your club membership chair and committee members should have made several contacts with every member in your club, either at your meetings, by email, by text, phone, or even snail mail, asking your members to renew their membership. So ideally, all of your club's current year members would be renewed by December 31st. So let's just say all of our 2024 members, we would love to have them all renewed by December 31st, 2024. And that's the membership expiration date, December 31st. But we know we don't live in an ideal world. So NFRW gives a grace period for renewals, and that grace period is from January 1st to March 1st. During that grace period, a member is going to continue to receive the benefits of membership from NFRW, but after March 1st, those benefits are cut. So you ideally want to have everybody renewed by December 31st, if not, certainly by March 1st, because that's the cutoff for NFRW. But even then, that does not mean that the membership chairs and the membership job stops. Your club still continues to try to get the previous year's members to renew and continue to recruit new members, because membership is a year-round activity. We all know that. So membership, if people are asking, why would I want to join towards the end of the year? Well, you're going to get all the benefits of being a member of NFRW no matter what point of the year you join. So it is worth it to join towards the end of the year, because you're getting all those benefits right away. And then because of all the information you receive and the friends that you make, you're going to want to renew for the next year. So it doesn't matter when you join, but ideally, if you're already a member, and as clubs, your membership chairs, presidents, y'all really want to push to try to have everybody renewed by the 31st and certainly by the 1st of March. So then the question comes about paying dues. So you have a member, a new person, or a returning member, you've received your dues, the dues from that member. Now what? So your club membership chair and your club treasurer need to work together to be sure that your club is promptly, and I mean promptly, submitting the dues to your state federation. And that's so the state federation can promptly submit the dues to NFRW. And the reason that prompt payment is so important is because you're not a member until NFRW receives your dues. And when we know that women join your club and they don't receive the benefits of membership right away, then they aren't connected to the organization and they tend to lose interest. And we don't want that to happen. We don't want our members to lose interest. Members who lose interest are much harder to renew the next year. It's always easier to hold on to a member by providing what you've promised them. Also, we know that we want you to ask your state, well, what is the best way to, every state does it different. In Texas, we pay our dues, we're encouraged to pay our dues online by debit card or credit card. And that's because the problem with mail has gotten to be so horrible. So if you don't know how your state collects its dues, reach out to your state membership chair or your state treasurer and ask them, what's the best way? We've been sending a check and snail mail. Is there some other way you would rather us pay the dues? Because the faster the state gets them, the faster they can turn around and get them to NFRW, and then NFRW has the money and they're officially a member. They can then log into the NFRW website. On healthy habits of a healthy club, and if you haven't looked at the membership page and looked at that series, I strongly encourage you to. But one of the things that we say habit of a healthy club is to pay your dues monthly. And really where that comes from is if you're collecting dues at your monthly meetings. If you're collecting dues at your monthly meetings, then you want to submit at least monthly. That would be a minimum. But if you're collecting dues through online registrations or at other events, other methods, you want to make sure that you're forwarding your dues as you collect them. Do not hold your club memberships. It's very important that you honor your obligation to your members by submitting their dues in a timely manner. And so again, we ask that you submit them as you collect them. Technology has made this job of membership so much easier. I know we're all volunteers. I know we all are pressed for time, but it really is not difficult. I submit weekly if I have members from that week. And I just go online. Maybe I only have one. And so I'm sending that in, but I'm paying for that member online. And so if you have any questions about that, again, check first with your state, ask them what they want to do. But if you need help, reach out to us, because that's what all of us are here for. Whether it's at the state level or the national level, we want to help you. And that's what we're here to do, is help. So please reach out to us with any questions, but just make sure that you're timely submitting your dues, because that's very, very, very important. And that's it on dues.
Sorry. I forget that when you mute yourself, I can't unmute myself. Robbie, there was one question here about the deadline that maybe if we can revisit. Let me pull it back up.
Okay. So
do you see it? The one that says, did your example say that 2024 membership due on 12/31/24 has a deadline extension to March 1st, 2025?
So like I said, that's the grace period. You know, we have a calendar year membership. Membership expires on the 31st, but January 1st to March 1st is a grace period. Now, just because members don't join or renew during that period doesn't mean that, like I said, membership doesn't stop. You're continuing to forward renewals, forward new members. It's just for NFRW's purposes. They have to have a point in time that they're clearing the rolls from the previous year of people who did not renew. So that's their cutoff. And then the deadlines for convention, you want your members to be paid so that they would be able to attend as a delegate or an alternate. Those dues have to be to NFRW by June 28th. But you need to check with your states on that also. And I know the states are going to be pushing out plenty of information about convention, but because your state's going to have an earlier deadline, because obviously they can't get it from you on the 28th and turn it around that fast and get it to NFRW. So that would be the deadline. Now, how many of you have been following our 70,000 voices challenge, where your club is eligible to get a pin if your membership increases 25% over what your final numbers were 2023? So that deadline to NFRW has nothing to do with convention, but to be eligible for the 70K award and the pin, that is June 30th. And so those memberships need to be, so this is separate from convention, totally different. This is just for the 70K contest, increasing 25% over your 2023 numbers. That deadline is June 30th. But even whether it's convention, it's 70K, whatever it is, you should be collecting membership dues all year long, recruiting all year long, renewing all year long, and forwarding dues in all year long. So there really is no deadlines in that regard for membership. You just want, you keep going, keep sending, but you do need to be aware of deadlines that might prevent you from doing something like being a delegate to convention or something of that nature. So I hope that answered the question. If not, you can reach out to me or Ingrid or Lori or Karen, and we'll try to clear that up.
Yep. So just kind of to reiterate, there is no stopping point for membership.
No stopping point for
So
membership.
even if the deadlines for convention or whatever, I mean, if you have memberships, you should be submitting them quickly and not holding on to them. That was something that we just wanted to really stress to all the club presidents. A question here, do the members get the Capital Connection or just presidents? Every single member gets the email. So if your members are saying that they're not getting it, they need to check if it's in their spam folder or if they've been unsubscribed. So every member should be receiving a weekly Capital Connection email from NFRW, not just club presidents.
But that's going to be dependent on you having turned in their membership to
True.
your state federation and to NFRW.
That's
so
true.
That's another reason your members aren't going to have all the information that they need to have if you're not forwarding the memberships. And that's one of the benefits of membership is the access to the website, the CapCon. So again, you don't want to be holding on to these memberships.
That's very true. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I lost my place on these questions. Feel free, Lori, if you see any more. It pushed me down to the bottom.
Kind of answering them. So someone was asking about new clubs. Are they eligible for the 70K? Yes. The goal for the first year goal for 70 for new clubs is 25 members.
That's very doable.
So Bunny says if a member email has changed and they don't notify their club person, then your state and NFRW has an old email. That's correct. However, every member can log into their account and update their email address. So if they're not getting it, have them log in to see what their email is. If they need to update their email, they can do that. If the email is correct, then they can send an email to membersupport@nfrw.org. And we recommend they do that directly because there's a lot of troubleshooting that goes on directly with members. So if you're in the middle of it trying to do it for them, that makes it hard.
Yeah.
And Joni Pickle, I'm not sure if your question was answered, but you do not have to have 10 for each submission. That's for the very first submission. And the reason being for your very first submission, you need 10 is because under the bylaws, you have to have 10 members to have a club. And so your first submission submitted to your state and that your state submits to NFRW needs to have 10 members. But after that, you can do them however they come in.
Absolutely. Okay. So we collected a lot of dues at our last meeting. Do they not count towards our club number of members? Lori?
They're not full members because when they paid their dues, they're paying for club membership, state membership, and national membership. So their membership is not complete until it's paid at NFRW. And the process for that is you send it to your state treasurer and your state treasurer processes it and then pays NFRW. So they're not official club members until they're fully paid.
Yeah. I mean, as you can tell, there's a lot of moving parts. For one person to become a member, it has to go through your local club, and that has to be sent to the state federation, and then that is sent to NFRW. We're just asking you as club presidents, and hopefully if there's club treasurers on here, to do your part to get those in as quickly as possible. We're doing the same thing to encourage the state treasurers and membership chairs to also process in a very quick manner so that there is not a very long waiting period between the time I join at my local club and the time I start getting things from my state and NFRW. That is the goal. But that won't happen unless each piece works quickly by itself. So you can only manage what you're in charge of, right? So that's why we just wanted to get together with all the club presidents and let you know that you have a very important role in getting that ball started. We will encourage everybody else to then pick it up and do with it what they need to. So where can you get the actual membership numbers from 2023 for your club?
And so as I think Lori put the answer, your state president, Lori has sent that information on spreadsheets to the state presidents on more than one occasion. So your state president should be able to provide you that information. Also, Danelle, I guess I'm a little confused. Does your club pay the $15 fee every time we submit new members? Now, NFRW membership is $20 per member.
That's
I
the club
assume you're
fee.
talking about the service fee that you pay to your state, and every state has a different service fee, but that's just paid one time with your first submission of the year. Did that answer your question, Danelle? Okay, good.
I think so. Okay. What do you all see any other questions to?
And Tawana, just in case you're still not clear, so if they paid dues on 3/18, if are they a renewing member? I see you, so you can shake your head. Okay. So if they're a renewing member, just go ahead and send them in, and they'll be put back into NFRW's information. Same thing with a new member. So it doesn't matter. It's just as of March 1st, if they were in your club last year, 2024, and NFRW didn't have the dues by March 1st, they would take them off. So just go ahead and send them in, and then they'll have their access to the NFRW website and everything restored, and they'll start getting the CapCon again.
All right. Any other questions about dues or convention that we can answer while we're all here together? I see a lot of.
I think this time we were able to answer most of them as they were popping up. So that.
I think so. And if you ask something that we missed it, please type it again, because it, sometimes they get pushed up or pushed out of the way. So for us, so we want to make sure that we answer everybody's. Can we get President Trump to convention? Beverly, that is a wonderful.
I'm sure he's been invited. He was invited 2 years ago. But yes, it is in Florida, so it should be convenient to Mar-a-Lago for him.
That's right.
That would be amazing. And we would hope that he would attend. So
feel free to send him emails to encourage him to come.
That's a great idea. We should do a letter writing campaign for him. We want you there.
Sonia, yes, your club can raise funds. You can handle it however you want to. Some clubs have in their bylaws that they pay for one delegate, or pay for, or their club president who's going to be the delegate for their registration. But yes, absolutely, you can raise funds. Just if you're in a state where your club is a political action committee, make sure that you're complying with PAC rules.
So there's a lot of questions about the 70K program. I'm going to put in the chat the website that has all that good details in it. It's if you go to the membership committee page and then click on details about the 70K voices, it has every question in there, answered the FAQs. And if there's more questions that you have after reading that, certainly please reach out to member support, or you can email me at lgraham@nfrw.com or org.
We want to see all of you at convention, and we want to see all of you wearing that beautiful 70K pin. So get those membership numbers in and get that membership up. Every week in the CapCon, just about, we're sharing ideas. But one of the great things about convention is as much as we've tried to share ideas with you and ideas that we get from other clubs that have been very successful, there's nothing better than networking with each other and finding, well, what works for your club, what works for this club. You take home a lot of new ideas. And so that's another benefit of attending convention.
One of many. One of many. All right. Quick show of hands. How many people are planning to go to convention in Orlando in September? Okay, I'm trying to scroll through. That's a good number of hands. That's awesome.
Ingrid,
Great. How
are
many
you
of you
going?
are? I'm sorry.
Are you going?
Oh yeah, sorry. Both hands up. That would be something if I was promoting it.
Oh,
Go.
and Bunny, you have to buy the pen. I'm sorry, we didn't make that clear, but it's worth it. I mean, it really is a beautiful pen.
It is. It's really pretty. I saw somebody, Peggy, I think Peggy Joe was holding hers up. The silver ones are if your state has earned it, and the silver ones are if your club has earned the award, and then the gold ones are if your state has earned the 25% growth. So this is exciting. A lot of you are planning to go. If you're on the fence, if you're considering it, I strongly encourage you to do so. It's well worth it. It's an investment, yes, of your time and of your money, but it is something that really has, in my opinion, a very big payoff in terms of all the benefits you get from attending, and it's just fun. It's going to be a good time. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody talking about really negative experiences. So, all right.
And Danelle, I think the pens are $45. Is that right, Lori?
Yes.
We can't push the each one bring one too much. If you just think about it, if every one of your current members would bring a new member, none of us would have membership goal problems. We'd all be blowing out those goals. So just remember to continue to challenge your club for each member to bring at least one new member. And then, maybe make it fun, maybe make it a contest. But that's one way to help grow your membership. I joined, both of my daughters are members. And I have a tenant who's a member. I mean, just think about all the people that you can have join. So it's not as hard as you think growing your membership if you just put the effort to it.
So since we have a few minutes, I'm going to share my screen with everybody and show you really quickly, in case you were not able to join us on the first training, we kind of walked everybody through how to access the membership page so that you have all the information that we have in here. First thing you need to do is go to the NFRW website and log into your account. And then this will come up. There's a tab that says members. And then it's committee and issue resources. This gives you a long list of every committee that has a page on our website. Look how many there are. There's a lot of really good information on this website. The one that we obviously are focused on is membership. And this is where you will see all this information about the empowering 70K voices, the progress that we've made. There's information there about March Madness that's currently going on. And what I wanted to draw your attention to was over here on the right side of the screen, we have our membership roadmap. And this is something that we put together and we broke it down into quarters. So you can click on each one of these and break it down by quarter, but we're still in Q1. So you can, click on this one and look at all the things and ideas for what you should be doing in the first quarter. Now, if you look at the roadmap, there are items listed for every quarter. So that means that after June, when we're talking a lot of deadlines are in June, you don't stop recruiting members or even renewing members because some people take a little bit longer. Look at what it says to do in Q3 and Q4. If you need ideas, there's ideas there. If you are looking for more ideas, you can feel free to reach out to us. But this is just a really good resource for you to have as a club president, to share with your members, with your executive committees, and just kind of always have something focused on membership happening at any given time. So just wanted to point that out to you. There are a ton of things on this membership page. If you have not visited that page for membership, you really should try to make it a priority. Lots of great information.
And someone asked if the club's executive committee can have access as an administrator. No, the access is given to the club president.
Yes.
There are times where the club president may not be able to log in, and she can request someone else in her executive committee to have access through the state president. And once the state president authorizes it, she'll ask me to add that person as an administrator. So if, there are several club presidents out there that either aren't technology savvy or just aren't interested in working on that. And, but if she gives someone else in her executive committee access, she requests it through the state president.
Yep.
Also, remember, if you're a club president, logging into the website and updating your club's page is one of the items for the NFRW awards. So you want to make sure, even if you're not applying for the award, which every club should be applying for the awards, but you still want to make sure that you're providing the most up-to-date information, because that's how a lot of people find our clubs, is they find the National Federation and then they're looking for a club in their area. So you want to make sure you have the most current information about your club on the NFRW website.
So who you contact, that's your club president updates the webpage. Now, to find out how to do that, if you go into the members and then leader resources, the instructions on how to do that are under the club president page. And then we have one more question. What constitutes a new member if they've been one previously? What we're looking at I think this is about the 70K numbers. What we're looking at is the overall size of the club. So that's going to be some new members, some returning members, some continuing members. It's going to be, there's many different ways that you can get members in to build that total number of your club. So we're not really hung up on that they all have to be new, like brand new to NFRW. We really would the easiest way to get new members is to download your club profile, or not club profile, download your club roster, which gives you everybody that's been a member of your club, and you can sort it by expiration date and find out who hasn't renewed in the last couple of years. Reach out to them and invite them to come back. To me, that's low-hanging fruit and easy people to get back involved. Anything else? Okay.
I think there's still some confusion on the annual service fee. And again, that's what the amount you pay depends on your state and what they charge. But it's just a one time a year with your first submission. So once you've submitted your annual service charge, you wouldn't be submitting that again. You're just submitting dues for the number of members you're submitting after your initial submission. And Susan, if you still have questions, reach out to one of us and we'll help get that cleared up.
You guys have great questions. Thank you. All right. I think we've covered pretty much all the questions. Again, if there are questions on there, we will go back through them and make sure that there are answers. You have our contact information. You know how to use the membership page on the website to contact us as well. Feel free to reach out to us at any time, and we look forward to seeing all of you there, all of your members. Please encourage them to attend. It's going to be a great time in Florida. So thank you so much for joining us this evening, and take care. Thank you, everyone.